Episode 26, we're going to give you 4 things that your dealership should try to implement to attract ride-sharing drivers.
Your lift is here. Lucky for you, it's this classic whip.
Classic El Camino.
Yeah.
Chris, I know you love the ride shares.
I Uber everywhere. Or Lyft. I go back and forth. Whichever one's, got the cheaper deal at the time. Sometimes it's Lyft, sometimes it's
What do you
Uber.
prefer?
The cheapest one.
The cheapest one, you don't care?
Well, I care about ratings too. If they have like a 4.5 rating, that's like, eh.
Okay.
That's like, eh.
Okay.
I try to go for the 4.8 and above.
Okay. You know what I hate about the ratings, right? Is I hate my personal rating.
What's your rating?
It's like a 4.6 or something.
Oh, wow.
And it drives me nuts.
You know why? It's because you don't get out of your house quick enough. That's probably, they're like waiting for you.
They're waiting for my wife, right?
Okay.
Because it's the only time we Uber. And I Uber, usually Uber with my wife. But we very seldom do we ever make them wait. And I always give them like extra tip. I'm like super generous. and like it's like this. I feel like the more I give them on the tip, the more my rating goes down. And I think it's just like this thing. Like they're all in cahoots. They're like this guy gives a lot, and he's going to give more if you lower his rating. And so like I don't know. For me, I'm just like
I have a 4.8 rating. That's all I know. So
it's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. And I have great conversation with these guys. Anywho, what we're always trying to do, here on the Pit Stop Podcast is we're trying to give you guys solutions or strategies to find and increase more either fixed ops business or service parts, accessories, looking for those niche little maybe like honey holes. And this may be more applicable to larger market dealerships, just because Lyft and Uber and other drive sharing apps are a little more prominent in those
in the cities. Not so much
areas.
in the
not so much in the sticks. Here's an interesting statistic, right? And this is as of 2017, so it's a couple of years.
It's from cars.com.
A couple of years ago. There's over 750,000 Uber drivers, just 750,000 Uber drivers on the road. That was the end of 2017. And then there's also more licensed Uber drivers than taxi cabs, medallion taxi cabs in New York City. Think about that, right? Like, that's crazy. So there's opportunity there. And all these Uber drivers, need to get their car inspected. They're constantly, their cars are getting beat up, lots of wear and tear. They're eventually going to need new cars. And so, how can you capitalize on that? It's something that, think about. And if you don't have a rideshare strategy in place, it's just one of those things that you should put something in place, right? And it's so that you have it, so that you're attracting them.
Right. And I think a lot of dealerships too, at first they were thinking that Uber and Lyft, it's going to be a threat. Now people aren't going to want to buy new cars and stuff. And cars.com came out with a survey. They surveyed thousands of consumers, and they said 79% of people who use ride sharing services would not get rid of their car if such services became more pervasive. And so think of it as actually an opportunity. So here cars.com is saying people are they're still going to buy new cars. And on top of it, now you have all these Uber and Lyft drivers that you can find that niche. And because to Aaron, your point, they're going to need to get their car serviced. And so now you have this opportunity. Don't think of it as a threat. You have an opportunity to now market to these 750,000 Uber drive, and that's just Uber. That's not even
Uber.
Lyft.
That's not even.
We're
Lyft,
talking
right.
millions.
Yeah, and and also like it does create jobs too, right? Like it is creating jobs where if you're having a hard time, finding a job or just and you've got a car, put it on the road, right?
Yeah.
And
now they're going to need servicing more because instead of, they work their 9 to 5 and they go home, they park their car. Now they work their 9 to 5 and instead of driving home to park their car, they're driving for 2 more hours to do Uber or Lyft. So their car is actually on the road more.
Yep.
Their car's on the road more. It's going to need to be serviced more. So there's another opportunity.
Absolutely. So, what do we got? We have 4 things.
Four things.
4 things to try to implement to try to attract ride sharing drivers. Right. First, offer inspections tailored to ride sharing drivers. Now, you have to understand what Lyft, and we're just using Lyft and Uber as an example here. You have to know what their regulations are, right? So get that information from Uber, from Lyft, and offer those tailored inspections for the ride-sharing drivers.
And what you mean by that, in order to become an Uber or Lyft driver, you have to meet these certain requirements, inspections that safeguard, the consumers that are going to be riding with you. So understanding what those are so you can tailor your inspections to that.
Yeah, and in a lot of our larger markets, Uber, for example, provides like Uber green light spots where drivers can pull up and get their car serviced, their car inspected. But that isn't in every market. That's just in some of the larger markets. So there is an opportunity there to offer those solutions, or those services. Offer free and/or reduced fees for additional services like oil changes or
getting your fluids full and
alignments. Like Pep Boys offers free check engine light code pulls and free alignment checks, and just to get them in. Pep Boys does, right? And then I see this all over the place. Places like Jiffy Lube and Valvoline, they've got the banners right over their bay doors that offer like 20% off, all of their services. And they're attracting the drivers who are, the Uber drivers or the ride sharing drivers that are just driving up and down the road, right? So that's easy, visible marketing to them, and they're capturing some of that marketplace, that market share.
Offering car sales incentives is another way.
Offering car sales incentives, and we know some of the manufacturers are doing this and have relationships with Uber and have relationships with Lyft, but not all of them do. And really getting a little granular, at the localized level to try to, create some incentives like your friends and family plans, or your military discounts, or your college grad discounts. Like, put some marketing dollars out there and seed the marketplace with rideshare discounts, right? For sales and and all of this, right? And then finally, if these guys are, need to get their car serviced, some of them may be do-it-yourselfers, offer them discounted parts and accessories.
Yeah, it's the whole ecosystem. Don't just do it for sales. Don't just do it for service. I mean, why not do it, all the way around? Parts, service, sales, body shop, everything.
Especially if like Uber Black, vehicles, right? Like some of the higher end cars, like these drivers may want the
detailing,
the great accessories, added to their car. But that's a perfect example right there, Chris. Like offering detailing services to the Uber Black drivers, so that those cars are super, super nice. They smell like they're brand new. They look like they're brand new. That's an amazing, a really great idea, is those detailing, offer those detailing services to the ride sharing drivers. So those are four quick ways that you can try to implement and and attract the ride sharing drivers. And there's a market out there. They're out there. They're growing in numbers. It's not going backwards. It's only going to continue to grow in size. And when you have Uber going into different categories like Uber Eats, you're putting more vehicles on the road, and it's just more opportunity.
Right. And just like any marketing strategy, you're trying to communicate to your consumer so that it resonates with them. Who is your target persona? What is your target persona? Who is your consumer? And so if you're targeting these Uber and Lyft drivers with your messaging, with your banners, with these discounts, it's going to be pretty lucrative, and it's only going to get more and more lucrative down the road. So
yeah, and once again, like we talk about this all the time with that cost per acquisition, right? If you're going to get an Uber driver in and give him a great experience from that detailing perspective, right? He's going to continue to come back, and you've offered him a discount on his detailing services
that he already or she thinks is special already because it's tailored to Uber or Lyft drivers.
To them, right? And they're going to, and these drivers, they have to come back more and more, especially from a detailing perspective. They're getting people in and out of the car, in and out of the car, in and out of the car. They've got to keep it clean. They've got to keep it fresh, right? So, or somebody like myself, like might get my car detailed once or twice a year tops, right? These guys may come in every month, every 2 months, depending on how often they're out there driving. So if you're able to build that relationship and that rapport, I mean, that's the way to go. That's easy money. So episode 26.
Getting up there.
26. Remember when I was 26? Life was different. Episode 26. Chris, any other final thoughts? Tidbits?
Nada.
Nuggets? Nothing? Nada? You got it.